Hello and welcome to a news update for October 2015. This month has been a highlight especially for Farming Simulator fans, as the Gold Edition has been released on October 29th, including patch 1.4.1. There is also news about other projects that we are keeping up with, and 2 game recommendations from us. This month we have been waiting for the Gold Edition of Farming Simulator 15, which has been released on October 29th. Before we get into it, here are the mods which we presented earlier this month. Speed control changes how cruise control works in game. It basically adds 2 additional save slots. Click here for more information. Real terrain changes how vehicles react to the ground, which is especially visible when plowing, as the wheels tend to sink into the furrow. There is also a hotfix available to resolve some issues. Click here to see how to install it. Manual attaching clearly is a mod for simulation fans. If you have always thought it too easy to attach trailers and machines with just a button press, well, now you can get out of the vehicle and do it manually. Find out more by clicking here. Well, let's get to the Gold Edition of Farming Simulator 15, which not only adds new tractors and machinery, but also adds a new East European map to the game. The first tractor is an oldtimer from Zetor, a Crystal 12045 with 121 horsepower. The high maintenance costs distinguish it from modern tractors. The next tractor is a small one from Zetor, a Major 80 with only 75 HP. Another tractor is the Proxima Power 120 from Zetor with 117 HP. This model also offers a front loader attachment. The strongest new model is the Forterra 150 HT from Zetor with 147 HP. Here we get a nice middle class model. Next we have a new truck from Tatra, a Phoenix 6x6 agro truck with 462 horsepower. There are also a few new harvesters from the Rostelmash company that made it into the game. The first one is the Acros 595 Plus with 9000 liter capacity that mounts a 7 meter cutter and thus can be placed in the middle class. The top model of Rostelmash is the Torum 760 with 12,000 liter capacity and a 9 meter cutter. In addition, there is a new chaff cutter, an RS M1403 with 3 different attachments for corn, wheatrows and normal grass. Next we have a new trailer from the company FarmTech, a TDK 1600 with a capacity of 15,000 liters. There are also new machines available. We start out with a plow from Quernland, the AB85 with 1.9 meter working width. This is an older model without swivel. Quernland also offers a new cultivator, the Qualidisc Farmer 3000 with 3 meter working width. In addition, Quernland also offers 2 seeding machines, the DL with 3 meter working width for normal seeds, and the Optima 5 with 3.8 meter working width for maize and sugar beets. Finally, Quernland has a fertilizing machine on offer, the Exacta EL700 with 12 meter working width. For pre-orders of the Gold Edition or Gold Add-on, an additional harvester came with the download, a Rostelmash Niva with 3000 liter capacity and 4 meter cutter. Alright, these were the new tractors and machinery. Let's have a look at the new map. The Eastern European map is called Sosnovka and provides a little less smooth, polished look compared to the other 2 maps. You can notice that immediately when spawning on the new farm. The concrete floor looks worn out and riddled with weeds. Buildings are made out of wood and sheet metal that is worn out too, and some pieces are missing. There are parking areas for equipment, several old silos, and storage areas for potatoes and sugar beet. A nice little detail here are the new conveyor belts. If you look at the landscaping, you can see the attention to detail, something we have criticized in the other 2 maps. The roads are not perfectly straight anymore. The edges are slightly worn, the river border reveals layers of earth, and in the river plants are growing. Also, in the forest there is now more diversity in the ground levels with broken edges, where you can see the soil and roots. It's a nice texture that is very well used here. Of course, the map continues to offer the usual facilities, meaning we have a farm we operate out of, which also includes a cowshed and pasture. Here you feed the cows and get milk, manure and slurry back. For sheep there is a separate barn away from the farm in the south. Here you get as usual wool pellets. There is a point of sale where you get the new machines you buy, and there are refueling stations at different points on the map. Then there are multiple unloading zones like a village grain elevator, a sawmill, a bakery, a warehouse, a biogas plant, a transport company with train station, a lumber yard, a second grain elevator, a freight yard for wood chips, a mill with train station, a biomass heating plant, a garden center for your forestry needs. Now, we personally really like the new map, even though there are some self-imposed restrictions still, like straight field edges so that the helpers can handle it better. But all in all, this Eastern European map has more personality than the other two. There are some important news for Kerbal Space Program this month. Squad has decided to split the next update in 2 parts. Version 1.0.5 will be released in late November. Experimentals are beginning now, and this suggests that they are well on track. The second part, which will come later, will be version 1.1 with the Unity 5 update, a new UI interface and Casepedia. The features for 1.0.5 are a new buoyancy model, meaning ships and waterplanes should now work properly. Furthermore, the contracts have been revised. Contract variety will increase and a new category named First World Contracts will appear, combining all contracts related to planets and moons for first-time achievements. Another feature includes improvements to the temperature model. To be exact, there will be an additional value for the core temperature of individual modules, such as nuclear reactors. This allows for very high temperatures in these reactors without them heating up the entire module and heat transfers to adjacent modules. Although we are a bit disappointed that the Unity 5 update is delayed, we are happy that we get to see the already finished features sooner. There are some news for Fallout 4 too this month. The release on the 10th of November is around the corner now, and they seem to be on track for that. The gold status has been announced, meaning they are done with the code and have sent it to their partners. There are of course test versions in circulation already, and some interesting material has popped up in form of screenshots. Here we show you a few of them. Resourceful Fallout fans have found an interesting text passage in the EULA already, which excludes pay mods for the time being. You probably still remember the mod experiment for Skyrim on Steam earlier this year. Well, something like that should not happen for now. But the important words here are for now. This can change at any time. The mod tools will be available early 2016, and until then we remain skeptical. Another important point is the new skill system in Fallout 4. Well, it's not completely new, it's more like a rearrangement of attributes, specials and perks. Basically, you still have your attributes like strength. The points you put into it are like levels now, meaning they are the prerequisite to learn perks and go from level 1 to level 10. In order to learn boxing, for example, you have to have at least level 1 in strength. Boxing itself then has some quality levels, which are expressed in stars. In addition, the level cap is gone, meaning you can now level as high as you want, and there will be content even for high level characters. We have some news for XCOM 2 again this month, too. It became known that the mod tools will be as extensive as those for Civilization 5. Modders will also be able to use the Unreal 4 editor and have access to the script source code and 50 GB of graphic assets. The procedurally generated maps in the game can be combined with parts generated by hand. Firaxis is trying to combine the details of manually produced maps with a variety of computer-generated maps. We are very excited to see what it will look like in the end. There are also new details on the so-called dark events. These operations are carried out by Advent, the collaborators on Earth, and they won't just be small side missions, but will have a major impact on the course of the campaign. If a dark event goes wrong, the enemy will get combat bonuses, special weapons, additional combat powers, or more UFOs will appear, and more. Furthermore, these missions are sometimes hidden, and you will have to uncover them before you can neutralize them. All of this sounds really promising, now we will just have to wait until early 2016. Alright. Alright, here are some additional news for other games we follow. You are an RPG fan and remember Divinity Original Sin? Well, now the Enhanced Edition is finally available. The most important change is the addition of complete voice acting for all NPCs in the game. In addition to that, new areas and new skills got implemented too. Whoever likes to play complete or Game of the Year editions like us, now is the time to get the game. We have also tested another game this month, namely an indie game that already exists for 3 years as early access version on Steam. Prison Architect makes you a prison director, and your job is to not only build a prison, but also to run it well. The cartoon graphics of the game with its top-down view are no graphical highlight, but you always know what's going on. You will have to do tasks, the inmates will keep you on your toes with smuggling, escape attempts and turf wars, and the larger the prison gets, the more difficult it will be to satisfy all their needs. To be fair, we must mention that we came across some bugs still, and if you play this, you must be prepared to deal with them. We hope that it will get ironed out soon. The game is most definitely one of the positive examples of early access titles. Well, that's it from us. Have fun with your games and mods, and always remember, just take a moment to thank the modders for their work if you are using it. See you soon.